We hear all the time that agents are jumping ship, jumping to other brokerages. Agents are choosing to move around and jump around. And as a broker owner myself, I'm going to tell you that that's
We hear all the
definitely
time that
something that we deal with quite often, right? Jumping ship, moving around, doing this, doing that. The problem 99.9% of the time is not the brokerage. And again, own a brokerage, so I'd love for you all to come join my brokerage. It'd be great. But you know what? It's not typically the brokerage. It's typically the individual. I will say 100% of the time it's the individual. So grass is always greener on the other side, yada, yada, yada. Maybe this team's not doing this for you. That team's not doing that for you. And I'm hearing that teams are I'll never join a team. I've had a bad relationship. It was horrible. You know, usually when I ask them that question is, why did they think that team? What did they get from the team? Well, the lead split was so low. Got it. So the lead split. So you were saying you're getting leads. Yeah, it was just really low. What was it? It was a 50-50 split. Okay. So, matching standards, you bring one to the table and they bring you to the table, one to the table. No, they didn't have that. They just gave leads and, they were really low split. So I was getting screwed. Oh my goodness gracious. So we've got some amazing agents that work on our team in Idaho that have realized the secret sauce to leads. They even get less than 50%, but they realize that, those leads turn into SOI someday. And the more of them you take now, the more of them you work. If you're getting them, take them. Don't complain about your lead split on them. It could be 30% or 20%. Who cares? You did it, you converted it, you closed it, and now it's your SOI. How many referrals can you get off the one lead you got? So if you change your mindset to being that, hey, every lead I get, I'm going to try to get at least 3 referrals off of that one. Wow. Think about the potential. Think about your opportunities that you could do if you change your mindset to that type of mindset. Instead of complaining and blaming and all this different stuff that you're choosing to do, how about change your mindset to, hey, wow, what can I do with what I got? Is the problem the brokerage? Is the problem the team? Or is the problem me? 100% of the time, I'm sorry, it's going to be you. All right. I hate to say it, but it typically is the agent, the individual, the team member, not the team leader. I mean, unless you got a team leader that's just flat out take, give me, give me, give me, and I'm not going to give anything back. There's no matching standard there. Yeah, it might be a little harder. But if the value is there, if the value is obviously there when you chose to join, unless you were flat out lied to, if the value is there, it's not them. And the value typically is not leads. I always tell team leaders, don't promise leads. Okay, don't do it. It's because they're here today, they could be gone tomorrow, right? It could happen. But what's your value? Typically, a good value is what the team leader brings to the table is the support staff. It's the support staff, which could be transaction coordinators, could be the administrative assistant. It's taking those what we call the lag measures off the plate of the team. I'm sorry, off the plate of the agent, so that they can do what they do best, which should be creating relationships, nurturing new relationships. All those things is what an agent's job really is. Nurturing relationships, loving on their family and friends of friends and friends of friends of friends so that they can actually help them reach their goal of home ownership or of being able to sell their home and move out of state. They got goals, and our job is an amazing job, basically a ministry that we get to actually help them. If you treat it right, it could be an amazing opportunity. I've got some really good friends. David Schlick is one of them, who takes a portion of all of his closings he does, because he's a full-time teacher too, but he closes a ton per year as a teacher, but it's a ministry. He actually takes a big portion of his commission checks and it goes towards building houses in Mexico. I mean, what a great opportunity he's got to just continuously bless the world with opportunities based on, the blessing he has of having his real estate license. So, I mean, the job as a real estate agent is to do simply that. It's to nurture, take care of our family and friends. The lag measures, the things that get in the way that typically 99.9% of agents have a problem with, and I'm huge on obviously percentages today, 99.9% of agents have a problem with focusing on the lag, not the lead. Today, typically we have a huddle on Monday. That's something that I do is I do two group coaching calls per week. That's been my I guess my weekly thing for years now, probably close to 10 years, is two coaching calls per week. I do a huddle on Monday. I do and then a group coaching call on Wednesdays. And this is actually open to anyone that wants to jump in and join. I'll put a link inside of the chat here below. I'll put a link down there if you want to take a look at it. It's very, very inexpensive to join. But on Mondays, we typically do a coaching call, or I'm sorry, we do a huddle. And the huddle is based on the Franklin Covey, the book by Chris McChesney and Sean Covey, Jim Huling, if I'm chewing up your name, I apologize, Jim, because I'm telling you did amazing in this book. A good friend of mine actually went to the class for 4 Disciplines of Execution. Shoot, it was probably 15 years ago, and he came back with so much knowledge. I can't remember where it was. Could have been Kansas, something like that, where he went. He came back with so much knowledge that we ended up adopting the 4 Disciplines of Execution model for a multitude of years on our team. And, it's about, we did it a little wrong because we weren't doing daily huddles. We were doing once per week. Another real estate coach I know, very excellent coach with Eisenhower Coaching and Consulting, says you should never do that. You should do your huddles daily. And they're short, 15 minutes, get them done, get them out of the way. And so that's basically, in a nutshell, the 4 Disciplines of Execution. And this is on YouTube if you want to look at it. Is discipline number 1 is focus on the wildly important goal. What's the big wig? What's the number one thing that you need to focus on this year? And it could be, for real estate agents, units closed. It could be amount of money you want to make that year. Now, you could take the 4 Disciplines of Execution and use the other really good book called The 12-Week Year, and you can use that to break it down to 12 weeks if you want. So basically, you got to have a wildly important goal, though. So we used to have our team meeting on our team, the Kevin Blaine real estate team, years ago. Danny had us all put on wigs, and it was really cool. I had a Joe Dirt wig. It was fun. And we came in on wig day, wildly important goal. It was so much fun. We had such a good time doing it. Oh, what a blessing it was. That team was just amazing. And we would go in and we would all get up on front. Everybody would laugh at us and clap, and it was great. Some people were pink wigs and different color wigs, and it was wig day. Come up with your wildly important goal. It's time to focus on the wildly important, okay? And that's discipline number 1. Discipline number 2 is act on the lead measures, not the lag measures. Those are the things with real estate agents that typically gets in the way, right? And that's the lag measures. We want more lag measures. You want more lag measures, but you can't ever let the lag get in the way of the lead. So what you do is eventually you leverage out some of those lag. Joining a team is perfect because on a team, you actually are able to leverage those out to the team. If you're solo and doing it on your own, then what you do is you end up hiring. That's where you hire support staff. You hire, people, maybe a buyer's agent to help crack open doors for you, stuff like that. That's leveraging them out. Once you have too many lag measures, you still got to do the lead. You can't ever shut the faucet completely off. You got to keep it turned on so you no longer have that roller coaster of real estate. So that's why number 2 discipline is focus on the lead measures. And we've done that for years. Just focus on what lead measures. So my huddle call I do on Monday is first thing first, I have everybody kind of, talk about how it went last week. How did it go? What got in the way? What's the negative, the issues that got in the way of you being able to focus on your goals you said you're going to do last week? And let's not make sure that doesn't happen again this week. But then I have everyone do a very important task, is I want you to put down in the chat, I want you to type in what you want to do this week. What are the focus areas you want to focus on this week? I call it pillars of their business. These are the pillars that you're going to focus on that have to get done. These are lead measures. Type it into the chat. And then a lot of times people will put in there, I'm going to open a new escrow this week. Not really a good one. Okay, that's really technically a gray area of a lag measure to me. That's not a lead. A lead is somebody you don't know. Meeting somebody you don't know. Having a conversation with someone you do know but you haven't talked to in a long time. It could be doing 10-10-5 or some sort of social media messaging every day of the week and sticking to your time blocks every day of the week. Could be door knocking every day of the week until I talk to 25 people a day. I'm going to door knock as many doors as it takes. That's a lead measure, and sticking to those tasks. Could be open house. I want to do an open house 5 days a week this week. Could be that. That's focusing on the lead, right? Focusing on the lead, not the lag. And then, of course, those are going to create lag. The goal is appointment set, appointment met. So out of all these conversations I'm having each day, hour on hour, minimum one, if you're full-time working another full-time job, you need to have a minimum of 1 hour of lead measures per day, up to 4 or 5, or if you could have 8 hours a day of lead measures. If you don't have anything in escrow yet, you got a job, you got to work the job. Okay. So you got all those lead measures you're focusing on each day. Okay. And then discipline number 3 is keep a compelling scoreboard. Well, we have some great scoreboards, Eisenhower Coaching and Consulting, some amazing scoreboards they built over the years. I built other scoreboards. We had a scoreboard we had 15 years ago that was very plain. It just had a header at the top. And then I'd put everybody's name on the left-hand side. That's when we first started doing this. On the left-hand side, it had a yellow header on it, and that was all highlighted in yellow. And it had, what did you do? What did you do last week? What are your plan to do this week? And that was basically all it was. It was a scoreboard, keeping score, keeping track. Then week over week, you're doing it. A basic, simple scoreboard. Okay, so if you can't keep score, then you're not tracking the right things. Maybe the items you're trying to track are not trackable. Well, that's not good. You need to focus on trackable items, because the statistics do work. If I do this many of this item, I'm going to have this many results, this amount of results. So let's say let's just use online leads. Maybe your team provides a bunch of online leads and you've been failing with the 10 days of pain or the 9 to 12 times before you can consider a lead dead. By the way, a lead's never dead unless you have absolutely no good information, phone number, email address, fake name is bad words or something like that type of lead. Yeah, that's probably a dead lead. But if you've got good leads, you got good phone numbers, you got good email addresses, you got to be able to do what they call 9 to 12 times. 9 to 12 times. I know some of our ISAs, and then they're not even mad. So are you doing those? Okay, well, those are lead measures. I'm going to focus on a certain amount of contacts to those online leads I've had per week. Okay, lead measures, they're great lead measures. Okay, how many contacts can I do per week? All right, and then can I track that? So I always say, like, maybe Zillow, Realtor.com, maybe some sort of live call transfer, not pay-per-click leads, but something where someone actually registered that they want to see this house, or you talk to them, they want this house. Okay, that's a hot lead. And those are sometimes 25 to 1 ratio. And that's a hot one, 25 to 1. You might get 25 of those and you might get 1 sell out of it. That doesn't mean the other 24 are bad. That just means it's going to take some continuous contacts to make sure those are good. So trackable items, those are all trackable, 25 to 1. I got to call 25 of them before I potentially get 1. Some say you got to get 10 no's before you get a yes. Well, that's trackable. Okay, 10 no's before I get a yes. So those are the scoreboard items that we're tracking, those right there. So say you work in a supermarket. Can you do 4 disciplines of execution? Heck yeah, they actually have some really good videos. It's an older video, but it was about a supermarket and a manager in a supermarket that was just caught up in the whirlwind and he was struggling. And so he had to get everybody in their job. He had to take their job and make sure they were bought into their job and the importance of their job and how they can make the scoreboard move by them doing their task, and how if they can see the scoreboard moving, that is like, oh, how amazing. Everybody's got an important job. And if everybody's doing their job, we can see the team scoreboard move. But if 1 or 2 people are don't have the right attitudes or aren't excited about their job, they're not doing their job, they can't see the vision of the outcome of it, then that scoreboard won't move as like it should. It might move the opposite direction. And that's how, that manager in that video was failing, because the scoreboard was going down. So, he was able to get people that were really struggling into positive movement. It was exciting to see. It was a great video. And so it doesn't matter what job you're doing, you can use 4 disciplines of execution. You can have a compelling scoreboard. You have lead measures that you're focusing on. Lead measures might be your lead tasks that you can do that's going to help the scoreboard move, because the final thing is create a cadence of accountability. And so what is that accountability? That's that huddle call I do on Mondays. And a lot of business owners do them daily, depending on what type of business you're in. And so team leaders, brokers, huddle calls in the morning with your staffs, very important. Huddle call a day in the morning, 15 minutes. So it's in and out. We're getting in there. We're engaging in simple weekly process that highlights success, analyzes failures. We don't celebrate the failures. We highlight the successes. We celebrate successes. I like to clap on my huddle call when someone reached their goal and did something good. But we don't celebrate the failures, but we analyze them. How can we have changed that outcome? How can we have done it different? And that way we can kind of correct it and get back on track. So, these are kind of the management systems in building a successful team or a successful business that you can use. So I highly suggest, read that book, Four Disciplines of Execution. Excellent book. Excellent book. And again, on YouTube and on all the different venues, there's some really amazing online information that these amazing writers put out there. So very good. So highly suggest that. So again, we do a huddle on Monday. We missed the huddle. So today is kind of a call to catch up on the huddle because we still got a work week to do. So again, we like people to put in the chat what you're actually wanting to do this week that's going to move the pendulum, that's going to change your weekly outcome. What are the things you can do? It doesn't matter what job you're in. Again, you could work for someone else, but how are you going to move into an opportunity to promote within the business you're in? Well, focus on specific lead measures that's going to make your position that you're working at move the pendulum on the outcome of your company. Those are the things you want to focus on this week. You want to change your outcome, change your job, get a little more excited about the place you work right now? Well, you don't need to change your job. You need to change your attitude and the way you're focusing on your day-to-day activities. You're just going in and punching out, and wanting to collect that paycheck. But it's going to be hard to promote you to a new level if they don't see that you're focusing on those lead. So it's very important. Focus on the lead measures, not the lag measures. Lag measures are going to come. We want more lag measures, but we can't focus on them. If you do, that's when the scoreboard will not change. And that's when the roller coaster of life, the roller coaster of your job starts to happen. Obviously, you like work. And then once you're in escrow, you start to, and this is for realtors, you start to focusing on that. Next thing you know it, you're getting ready to close. Oh my goodness, what do I got now? Nothing. So at the bottom and you work, getting back up, and that's not a fun place to live. How do you just have a consistently flowing business? You consistently focus daily on lead measures to get more lag measures. And then you leverage out the lag measures so you can continue to focus on your lead measures. It's an amazing opportunity, amazing score. All right. Please put in the chat and please subscribe to this channel because I'm telling you that we're really trying to grow it. It's been good. It's been fun. It's been growing daily, which has been a lot of fun to see. We're going to get some people on here pretty soon to kind of give us their feedback or give us their opinions versus so you don't just get mine all the time. I want you to get other people's opinions on how they're doing it and how they're making their teams grow. So we're going to get some team leaders in here to chat and really, see more than just my opinion on how things are moving. So look forward to that coming up soon. And tell me, what's something you want to coach on? Put that in here too. Is there something specific that you want more knowledge about? I've got some great content, by the way, on how to take an open house you have this weekend. The open house is just the excuse to do daily activities to ramp up for the open house. So, we've driven 30 some odd up to 40 people into an open house, not in the COVID market too. This was well before COVID, using the open house as an excuse and using a daily plan. So we can do that if you want to coach on that. I've got it recorded, but I'd love to coach live on it right here. That way you guys can see, we can just go through each daily activity. You can cancel the open house because you made your contacts every day of the week. And it was fun contacts too. All you're doing is simply inviting people. Hey, just inviting you to my open house. Any chance you'll come? That's the problem most agents fail on right there. Take it, invite them, ask them. Will you come? Will you come over the open house? Will you join me? Will you come see it? Just come visit me. And if you invite people, now they typically will come unless they really have something else going on that weekend. But if you invite your people, they're going to come. Are you actually physically asking them, will you come? Or are you just saying, hey, here's a flyer, got an open house. Have a good week. Eek. How are you going to get more people there? How are you going to make more contacts? Invite them. Think outside of the box, guys. This isn't your job isn't difficult. It's easy. Now, I love how Brian says it's not digging a trench. So it's easy that way, but it isn't 100% easy. It's kind of hard to do it because most people struggle with thinking outside the box. So I love it. So anyway, let me know if you got any questions, put it in the chat. Let's get back together. So huddles are short. This is a short huddle, in and out.